All right, in this video, I'm going to bring up a subject that's actually quite interesting. I'm going to show some scientific evidence that basically that the Bible got right. So I know that's a big claim, and if you'll stick with me, you'll see what I'm talking about. So most cosmologists, I don't know very many that don't believe this, but the universe began at some point in the past. Now they say it happened 13.6 billion years ago, etc. That it went from the size smaller than, according to Dr. Alan Guth and Andre Lent, it went from the size smaller than a smallest part of an atom, to a size much larger than the size of our observable universe in a trillionth of a trillionth of a trillionth of a second. And I'll leave a link in the video below to that. But before I do that, I want to show a little video clip on what they call dark energy. And this will tie in to the rest of our discussion as we proceed. So let's watch the little video clip, and it's very short, on dark energy.
Hubble has revealed the mysteries of our cosmos in stunning glory. Now, it is working within a vast network of modern super telescopes to investigate a discovery that has rocked the world of astronomy. A discovery that threatens to turn everything we thought we knew about the universe on its head. An enigmatic force called dark energy.
Dark energy is the most mysterious thing we've ever discovered.
It's an energy that seems to be created out of nothing, out of the vacuum. But we have no idea what it is.
Dark energy's discovery comes as a complete surprise.
Okay, so the universe began, again, they say 13.6 billion years ago, and again went from the size to much larger, he says, Andre Lent says, much larger than our observable universe. Well, I have another video I'll put in the bottom from physicist Brian Cox. Well, the observable universe right now is 90 billion light years across. So much larger, to me at least, means more than double. So we're talking, in fact, Alan Guth has another one. I have another one where they talk about that the universe could be 200 times larger than what we can see. We don't know that because we can't see beyond that, but it could be. Anyway, when I was in college, we were, and this is in the 80s, I took a physics course from a guy that was actually, I was in New Mexico at the time, and he worked on the Manhattan Project. And we were talking about the universe, and there were, at the time, they didn't know, they knew the universe was expanding, but they didn't know at the time if, quote, number one, the universe was expanding, but because of all of the matter in the universe, if gravity was slowing the expansion rate down, and eventually it would stop it, and then it would, change course and come back and cause another singularity and then bounce back. It would just, so you'd have an ever a universe that would go, explode, go out, stop because of gravity, and then come back, and then go down to a singularity and do that all over again. They didn't know. So that was one of the theories, and I think that's kind of the ones they thought was going to happen. But anyway, then the other one would be that the universe is expanding, but at a steady pace, so there's no force needed. But the one that they didn't expect, and again, if you looked at the little video, they said in there, it rocked the world of cosmology. Why does it rock the world of cosmology? Well, because the universe is expanding at an accelerated rate. Now, they didn't expect that. Well, why didn't they expect it? Well, basically, all accelerating bodies, according to the physics we know, to get something to accelerate, say a spaceship in space, you're at 3,000 miles an hour and you want to go to 4,000 miles an hour, what do? You fire up your rockets until you reach 4,000. Then you can cut off the gas, so to speak, and you can pretty much coast at 4,000 miles an hour because there's very little in the vacuum of space to slow you down. You might be running into a couple of molecules, maybe every couple feet or something like that, if that. So if the universe exploded into being 13.6 billion years ago, like they say, then the explosion, quote unquote, that brought the universe into being, well, it's been over it's been over for quite some time. So what force is causing this acceleration? Now, I'm going to take a little side detour. This is not my argument in this article or in this video, but it could be that the universe is much younger than they're saying, and that we're still in the exploding part of a singularity, but that would make the universe a whole lot younger than 13.6 billion years old. But that's not my argument, but that's a possibility, and that's a very good possibility, that the universe could be much younger and that we're still in the exploding episode of a singularity, which means it wasn't caused very long ago. Anyway, that's a good explanation, but it's not my explanation in this particular video. I'll stick with the 13.6 billion years. Well, it still throws up a conundrum for the materialist. They have to figure out, well, what's causing this expansion and accelerated expansion of the universe? Well, so they come up with a term they call dark energy. But like the little video clip, if you saw it, says, we have no idea what dark energy is. Okay? They say dark energy makes up 70% of the universe, but they have no idea what this force is, period. In other words, I'll leave I'll play it. I'm going to play a little video from Alex Filipinko, who was one of the discoverers of the accelerating universe. And in the video, he will explain that, yes, that galaxies that are out, close to the edge of our field of view are actually traveling away from us faster than the speed of light.
Even today, the universe is expanding at high velocity. Galaxies speeding away from each other so fast that they seem to violate light speed as the ultimate speed limit. The faster-than-light expansion of space sets yet another limit on what we can see from Earth, where the galaxies of the universe continue to rush away from us.
The galaxies that are relatively near to us, those that you can see easily, are moving away pretty fast. And indeed, the more distant ones are moving away faster. But the ones that are really far away, in fact, are moving away faster than the speed of light. And then there are the galaxies that you will never see because they started out so far away that the light from them will never reach you because the space is expanding faster than the speed of light.
Space itself, then, is the exception to the rule. It can expand faster than the speed of light. But everything inside it remains bound by Albert Einstein and his theory of relativity.
Albert Einstein is the cop on the block. You cannot break the light barrier. We physicists can accelerate particles to 99.9999% the speed of light, but we have never, ever broken the speed limit.
Just a few decades ago, that was considered impossible. Einstein says, and I'll leave a little video clip, Einstein says that no matter can travel faster than the speed of light, and yet we have galaxy-sized objects now that are going away from us faster than the speed of light. But so what is a cosmologist, a befuddled and confused cosmologist, they're going, wait a minute, this isn't supposed to be happening, but it is. So what do? Well, first we come up with dark energy, which means nothing, and then we come up with an exception to the speed of light rule. And that exception now is that technically the galaxy-sized objects are not moving. What they're saying is the space between the galaxies is being stretched. And you've probably seen some illustrations of people blowing up some balloons, and they'll write some little dots on the balloons, and then they'll blow up the balloons more, and the dots will go, stretch apart from each other. Well, that's supposedly what's happening with the galaxy-sized objects in our universe. What's interesting about that, and I'll talk about that when we get to dark matter. We're talking about dark energy now, but I'm just going to say with dark matter, the question is, how come the space inside the galaxies is not being stretched, but but the space between galaxy-sized objects is being stretched? Well, anyway, I'll talk about dark matter later, but we're talking about dark energy right now. So again, dark energy, it is stretching space, and it's stretching space so fast that the galaxies at the edge of our field of view are speeding away from us faster than the speed of light, something that was thought to be impossible just a couple decades ago. Now, again, they have no idea what dark energy is. They have no idea. But it makes up 70% of the universe. Well, dark matter makes up another 25%. Only 5% of what we see do the physicists of today understand. Okay? Now, watch this, everybody. Now, you say you want evidence that the Bible is true. Okay? How about this? Okay, Psalms chapter 4, verse 2, the NIV. The Lord wraps himself in light as with a garment. He stretches out the heavens like a tent. Interesting. What's a tent? Well, it's something you live in. That's right. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth. Well, that's an interesting phrase, the circle of the earth. Now, how would Isaiah know about the circle of the earth if everybody in his day were flat earthers that atheists always talk about? Wait a minute. How could Isaiah, who doesn't have any kind of, he doesn't have a helicopter or a spacecraft to take him above the earth to see the circle of the earth. Anyway, that's beside the point. And the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, who stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. Wow, isn't that something? In other words, something that was discovered in the late 1990s was written in the Bible. In fact, there's about 17 verses that talk about the stretching of space. And Psalms and Isaiah, all these are different authors separated by hundreds of years. And how could the prophet Isaiah know about the circle of the earth, first of all? How could he know that the heavens are being stretched out? Now, here's Job. How would Job know this? He stretcheth out the north over the empty place. And that's exactly what it's doing. In other words, do you know that the universe is stretching larger and larger, is being stretched larger and larger into an actual nothing? And again, how would Job know? And hangeth the earth upon nothing. How does Job know, standing on the earth, by the way, all these flat earthers supposedly, how would he know that the earth hangeth upon nothing? Interesting, isn't it? So let me ask you this. How could sheep herders in the land of Israel know something about the universe that was not scientifically known until the 1990s? Explain it to me, please. They know more about it than we do. And the only way you can explain how they knew this information, the only way, is what we call divine revelation from God. That's the only way that that's possible, because those people, in fact, Job, they say, and you can put it anywhere you want. I don't care. I'm not going to deny the historicity. But Job, they say, was one of the very first books that was ever written. So it may not have been. Don't care. It's not it's a moot point. You can stick it anywhere in the past you want to, and there's no way neither Job nor David nor the prophet Isaiah could know that God is stretching out the heavens like a tent for us to dwell in. Isn't that interesting? And it's funny. I've had atheists say, well, that's, kind of obscure. It doesn't really mean that. Or they say all kinds of stuff. It's like, wait a minute. That is a one sentence that says exactly what's going on with the universe today. And there's no way other than divine revelation that could be known by those gentlemen, and all three of them, and they were all written hundreds of years apart. Thank you.